Hi YouTube and happy early Monday morning. It's my pleasure to share with you this new Sony Vaio PCG-K45 laptop that I generously received as a gift from a friend of mine, Duane Adrian of Colorado Springs, Colorado. This is a pretty large laptop. It's 15.4 inches diagonal on the screen. It has a regular uh, physical keyboard that's narrow travel, not the membrane or chiclet keyboards you see on modern laptops. It has a wonderful feel, and it's a Pentium 4 machine, so it's actually quite old, from around 2004 or 2005. When I got this from Duane, it had Windows 7 on it, but that was really, really slow, and I think I saw some spyware had installed itself. So I replaced it with this distribution of Debian Linux called antiX. I believe that's related to MX Linux, but anyway, the important thing to know about antiX is it is suitable for machines with very, very little power or RAM. It will work on a Pentium 3 with 256 meg of RAM even. When I got this machine, it had half a gig of RAM. I just upgraded it to 1 gig, and now web browsing, as you can see in the background here, is quite spiffy, moving plenty quickly, and the machine is able to handle 4 or 5 tabs, which is honestly a lot more than I expected. As far as what I plan to do with it, I have some example applications up. I'll be programming ESP8266s with this, doing SSH, as you can see in the background from the SDF com chat. Listening to internet radio was quite good when I just tried it on Mach Player, music on console player. That's the blue window you can see in the foreground. And there's plenty of other things this could be good for. I might even do some aNONradio DJing with this machine. Although it's a Pentium 4 mobile 3.2 gigahertz processor, it still seems pretty decent for this distro. So that said, I'm going to show some of the features on the machine. At the front of this, or at the interior of the laptop, you can see the trackpad and keyboard and a big speaker here. Quite good audio from that. There's a memory stick slot in the front, a switch for Wi-Fi, PCMCIA and audio ports. Very nice. 3 USB ports, a FireWire port, CDRW DVD-ROM drive, which is also a reason why it's good to have this. Let's see what else on there. On the back there is a parallel port, also very good and unique. VGA port. I forgot to mention it. On the left side there is a composite video port alongside the audio ports. So on the back, VGA 56K modem. Yes, indeed, still a modem in this thing. Ethernet, and I think that's it. For more specifications, now I'm going to do something you could do yourself, but I'm going to spend a little time in the video doing. And that is looking at the CNET page, just browsing it and looking at some of the specifications that I didn't already mention. So it originally came with Windows XP Home Edition, Pentium 4, 3.2 gigahertz, 503 megahertz data bus, 1 meg of level 2 cache, ATI Radeon graphics. I wonder if I could take advantage of that in R or something, but honestly R is probably quite slow on this, or R Studio as I use. Speed of the CDRW and DVD-ROM drive. Might be good for ripping CDs and DVDs. The RAM that came with it, which I'll show in a second. It says max support is 1 gig, but I talked to people and they suggested 2 gigs would work in this. 1280 by 800 WXGA display. Yep, ATI Radeon IGP345M. Note, shared video memory. There is a bit of the memory that's getting eaten for video RAM, for graphics RAM. Stereo speakers. Hard drive is 80 gig. Keyboard, touchpad. 802.11bg Wi-Fi built in. Ethernet built in. Yeah, the modem is 56K. No floppy drive. There's a memory stick slot and a PCMCIA reader. PCMCIA. People can't memorize computer industry acronyms. Slot on the left side. The battery in this is dead, but who cares? You know, I'm using this as a thin client. Yeah, display video, microphone, headphones, Firewire, USB 2, parallel modem, network, blah, blah, blah. I think really, 802.11g Wi-Fi has been fine on this. I also have Ethernet hooked up to my repeater router over here. That may be the topic of a future video, sitting next to the ATA. That definitely will be the topic of a future video. Anyway, so the point of that is you could get 100 megabits speed through the wire as opposed to 54 megabits with Wi-Fi. 80 gig hard drive. That's pretty decent. Also very easy to replace. It's just, screw tab covers for the RAM and the hard drive on the underside. Audio output. And that's everything. One other thing I didn't note that this machine does quite well is working as a thin client, which I said, but I didn't explain the specific way I'm using this as a thin client. I have something called NoMachine installed, which is kind of like TeamViewer, but you specify the IP addresses. It's not some code that's generated to specify the remote machine, and it's a remote desktop software. It's great because it copies the physical desktop. It doesn't create a new one completely different. You'd see everything that's up on the actual screen remotely. And anyway, I'm using this mainly as a client. I could use it as a server, but already so much RAM's eaten, and it's a Pentium 4. I mainly use it as a client for other machines that I have running. RStudio or Asterisk or Gopher server or other things, especially things that need a lot of manipulation in a desktop as opposed to an SSH window. Like say internal R package. Yeah. So these are the various systems that it has found to be present. Raspberry Pi. There's a third machine that should be up, but I guess it's not being caught. A Asus EEE PC. And anyway, a very, very nice machine, quite quick. Still 32-bit though. Another friend of mine might be giving me a 64-bit laptop and two 64-bit thin clients, which would be nice to use as more secure Internet of Things devices, as it's famously been said. The S in IoT is for security. Anyway, so these thin clients that I'll probably receive soon are 64-bit, also very fast, and 2 to 4 cores. Because of their size and the little amount of power they need, they could be great embedded x86 systems for IoT applications, or possibly extending my SDR listening setup. I have one SDR that's right now in use for ADSB, and I'll probably add in a second one for satellites or something similar. Anyway, so I showed you NoMachine. Thinking I can probably just try closing this and show you how the cover looks. There's the cover there. Oops. Front of the machine. on the side over there. And then what we just passed was the original PC2100 RAM. This takes any kind of DDR1 RAM. I'll probably sell this for very little, the original RAM, for somebody else who would like to use it to upgrade their old laptop. Let's get a nice view of that there. Anyway, so I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. I think this video is going to last me quite a long time, even at its age, with how physically nice it is and how well it works as a thin client or fat client, a chonky client, as someone said in Discord. Okay, let's open that back up again. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. Take care, everybody.